You know, most of us think about the picture first before we even think about sound when we're making our YouTube videos, and that should be reversed. Sound should be number one, because without good sound, you will not have a good video, and that's what we're talking about today, the journey into YouTube sound.
This is a journey into sound. Are you ready?
The objective is to record intelligible sound.
High fidelity sound.
Sound recording.
Capturing sound or audio is absolutely paramount in making a video. Before I get to my setup, let's first start with the basics of capturing sound for your videos, and then work our way up to my setup. In its most basic form, having the microphone as close to the source to which you're recording, i.e. your mouth hole, as possible.
The microphone is placed as close to the subject as possible.
Here I'm using the crappy in-camera microphone, and it sounds horrible. Now when I switch back to this guy, it sounds much better.
The choice of a microphone depends on the subject's position and action.
So proximity is huge. Now, proximity to what? What type of microphone are you using? Well, it depends on your needs. For example, if your videos are ones where it's just a talking head, it's just what I'm doing right now, talking to the camera, you can place a boom mic right above you right here, which is one just out of frame, or you can use something like I'm doing here. This is just the one from the TV show set. Now the boom mic above me here, this is actually not plugged in, but this is just on a cheap microphone stand, which is about $30. The microphone itself is about $30, and let me hook it up so you can see how it sounds. And here is what the boom mic sounds like. And again, this is a really inexpensive one. Now, I want to be clear, we're talking about YouTube videos. If this were a movie production or a TV show or some kind of high-end video, you'd probably want to get a higher-end mic up around the $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 range. But for us here on YouTube, we can get away with more inexpensive mics and still sound really good. So you can see the microphone is just out of frame, and you can see over here that it's kind of pointing down towards me. It's not pointing above my head or pointing down. It's right in line with my mouth. But I like using this one better. Now, if your videos are ones where you're moving around a lot, like a DIY video or something, then you're going to want a microphone that travels with you. A lav mic is a great example. You'll get a transmitter and a receiver. Now, price ranges run from $100 and up. Another option is this. It's a portable recorder. This one was about $150, I think. And the benefit of that is that it's its own recorder. Then you just take out the card and sync it up with the video. Now, if you're a vlogger where you're running around a lot and you still want good sound but don't want to have to put a lav mic on, a lot of people use one of these. This is a Rode. This is actually the smaller one, the Video Mic Go. And this is great, because like the proximity effect, you're close to it. It's a nice shotgun, so you're going to get a nice pickup right here. The camera's here, and this is the audio from the camera. And it sounds pretty darn good.
What do I record into?
Now right now, I'm recording directly into my computer, so it's easy for me to just quickly put this into my video. You can run into the camera if you want, or you can run into a separate recorder and sync it up later. The thing about camera audio is that it's generally not that great, although this is the S1H I'm recording on, and this actually does have really good mic preamps. But some of the older Canons and stuff like that, you really don't want to plug a microphone into them. Now again, it's better than just using the camera mic, but you really want to get a separate recorder. Okay, so how do I run sound for the show by myself? Normally on a show like this, there's a dedicated sound person who's mixing everything on the fly, and here it's just me. It all starts with a mixing board. I run everything through this. Here's the overview. Different sources run into the mixer, then runs into an 8-channel audio interface. The output of the interface goes into my laptop and records in Adobe Audition. This way, each source is recorded independently, so I have full control over adjusting the volume of each source in post. Now, because I want this show to mimic an actual talk show, I wanted the in-studio experience for the guests to be great. There's music blaring as they're walking in, and have the phone be able to be heard live in the room. And it's not that easy, especially with the phone. at you. You're in my garage. See, the guy. Look at you. But let's start with the music and sound effects. So I use a sound effects pad that has the intro and outro music. Yeah. Gino Vanelli, everybody. Some sound effects and jingles and stuff like that. And I want this to be heard in the room.
Geraldo Rivera.
And to be recorded on its own track as well. So how do we do this? Well, in the mixing board, we have 16 channels to plug our sources into, and 4 buses. The buses are just a way to group channels. For example, certain things I want to be pumped into the PA system in the room, and certain things not. Like, I want the music and sound effects being cranked up in the room, but I don't want the microphones to go into the PA, or you'll get feedback.
So he was a little slow, but...
So I put the PA on bus 1 and 2, left and right, so any channel I press 1 and 2 will go to the PA. The microphone channels don't go to those buses. Let's talk about the phone. This was the single most important element I wanted. I wanted to be able to pick up a phone at any given moment and be able to hear a dial tone over the PA speakers in the room. All right.
I don't think Geraldo will mind.
And hear the number being dialed. Just like old school David Letterman. It was also very important visually to actually talk into the handset, as opposed to the caller just getting a feed from our microphones. I love the look of actually talking into the phone. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Geraldo, how are you?
I'm well. My mustache is too.
On top of that, I needed the caller to be recorded on its own channel in the board so I have a clean signal to work with later. So after a lot of research, I came across this. It's a cheap interceptor type thing that goes between the handset and the base on the phone. So with a few adapters, I ran it into one of the channels of the board and had it running into the PA system, and also recorded it internally. Now, it could potentially feed back as the sound coming out of the speakers goes back into the phone handset, but it doesn't for some reason, and I don't know why.
If that mustache well oiled.
But it's great. Now, one thing I should mention, I do have a backup in case the computer fails, and that's this little portable recorder right here. Now, it just records the final output, like a stereo mix of everything. I don't have control over the different tracks like I do in the computer, but it's when all else fails, at least I have that, and it has everything in there, so I won't have lost it completely. Well, I hope this was helpful in getting you thinking how to capture sound here in YouTube land. I'll have a buying guide in the description below for everything I mentioned, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe if you like. And thanks for watching.
This has been a Brian Kelsey movie.